We say welcome, everyone, to a brand new month, November 1st, 2024. I'm Mike Smith, along with Aaron Glandon, on the first day of a brand new month on Litter Media Live.
Yes.
And this is a very special day for, other than just being the 1st of November, this is Aaron Glandon's birthday.
That's true.
You know what time you were born?
3:36 a.m.
3:36 a.m.
It's a couple hours ago.
Were you a difficult delivery?
My mom said I was.
How many hours was she in labor? Do you remember? Or did she ever tell you
I
that
don't
story?
remember.
You don't remember, obviously.
I know that the doctor who delivered me said that if he knew how big I was going to be, he would not have let my mom deliver me normally. He would have made her do a C-section.
How heavy were you?
I was over 9 pounds.
Wow. And he eats like a hog to this day.
I'm always hungry.
Now I know what the story is. That is a big baby. I think Sarah weighed 6 pounds and something. You've seen Bonanza, the TV show Bonanza?
No.
You've never seen Bonanza. Well, there was Dan Blocker was a character. He played Hoss, and Dan Blocker was a huge man. I think for a while, for many years, he was the largest baby ever born in the state of Texas. Now, I'm sure that record's probably been broken, but I believe he weighed 18 or 19 pounds. But that was, I don't know about the state of Texas, but there was another state that they said this baby was like 20 pounds.
Wow.
I can't even fathom
I was about to say everything's bigger in Texas, but I guess
well,
not.
it was for Dan Blocker. Well, good evening, everybody. If you're watching this at night or in a different time zone, we are here with you, though, live from Chillicothe, Ohio, on a Friday morning.
Well, speaking of time.
That's very good. I told Aaron if he doesn't remind him, it's his fault. Tomorrow, Saturday night, well, officially it's Sunday morning at 2 a.m., you're supposed to set your clocks back 1 hour as we return to standard time in most of the United States.
Yes.
There's some states that don't.
When are we going to stop doing that?
Well, I think that bill passed the United States Senate, but for whatever reason, the U.S. House has been holding it up.
What's the problem?
Call your congressman.
I'm sick of it. I hate having to change my watch every couple months.
I think most of the states have approved it, but Congress has to have the final say.
Gotcha.
But again, it passed the Senate some time ago. I mean, like a year or two ago. But they're waiting on the House to get off of the dime. Weather for this weekend. Sunshine, but cooler on this Friday through the weekend. A high of 65 on Saturday. I think we're going to get about that today, 64, 65. 70 on Sunday, overnight lows of about 38 to 40. Now, if you're going out to a football game, a high school playoff game tonight, Friday, the temperature at kickoff here in our area is supposed to be 53 at 7 p.m. and 46 by game's end around 10 o'clock. So dress a little bit warmly, more so than maybe what you're used to this fall. But also, don't forget to set your clocks back tomorrow night before you go to bed. And again, the official time actually is 2 a.m. Sunday when that takes place. But I'm not planning to stay up till 2 a.m. Sunday. Dan Rangby probably will.
Yeah,
I think Dan's probably in his chair just watching the clock so he can change it. Oh, and another thing, the state fire marshal says that's also a good time to change the batteries in your smoke alarms, smoke detectors. So kill two birds with one stone. When we come back, we'll take a look at our topics, also sports. And this date in history takes us back to 1950 at the Blair House in Washington, D.C. All that coming up on Litter Media Live. Adena Valley Dumpsters, your dumpster headquarters. Their trademark, I guess, is the color orange. Or as my father-in-law used to say, orange. 253-8389 if you'd like a free quote, a free estimate on what it'll cost, whether you want it a day, a week, or 2 weeks. Carl can fix you up at Adena Valley Dumpsters.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
All right, let's jump into what's making headlines today on Litter Media. And by the way, you can always check our website at littermedia.com. Although this show takes a break over the weekend, the website does not. If there's news, beneficial news that you can use that comes in on the evening or the weekends, we'll get it posted. Yesterday on our special edition of Litter Media Live, I talked with Melanie Swisher, Bill Showman, and Kelly Dennis of the Valley ADAMH board, as they just recently announced a new $750,000 grant for intervention programs for our youth.
We have always been really invested in prevention for our kids, because if we can teach kids healthy coping skills, emotional regulation, then they may go on to never need our services, right? And so that's really what we would love to see happen. And we've used a lot of levy and state funding to do prevention in the schools. We always make sure it's evidence-based. We want to make sure when we're using taxpayer dollars that there's actually proven results with what's happening. But thankfully, we have SOAR dollars that we've talked about before, and we've used those to expand youth-led coalitions. But we're so excited because now we have this One Ohio funding, and we are going to partner with our local providers, and we are going to provide positive alternatives for kids. So things that they can do on their free time that is healthy, that promotes wellness. That's what we're going to be using that for.
If you'd like to get that full interview, simply go to our Litter Media Facebook or YouTube. Elsewhere?
Litter Media Radio. Did we say that?
No, we didn't.
Litter Media Radio, Facebook, YouTube.
No Spotify.
I've just been putting the daily shows on Spotify because a lot of the special editions are outdated after a week or so.
Very good.
The Joint Economic Development Initiative of Southern Ohio has reached a milestone in its campaign to support economic development in the four-county region. Since 2013, the organization, with the support of Florida BWXT, has generated over $1 billion in economic development by supporting local businesses in Pike, Scioto, Ross, and Jackson counties. The goal is to create and retain jobs for a sustainable and a strong community.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. The village of Greenfield over in Highland County has a community-wide fire hydrant flushing scheduled for tonight through early tomorrow morning. It starts at 8 p.m. and goes through 2 a.m. Saturday. Now, during this time, you may experience temporary water discoloration or minor sediment buildup in your pipes. So when you wake up on Saturday morning, let your water run for a few minutes to clear any residual dirt or discoloration. This will also help ensure the quality of your water supply. Again, that starts at about 8 o'clock tonight if you live in the village of Greenfield.
Southeastern local schools will host a November 8th Veterans Day Assembly at 1 p.m. Southeastern School District area veterans are welcome to attend along with their families. It will be held inside the Larry Jordan Gymnasium, and that's a week from today.
At this time of year, when road construction and maintenance programs come to a close for the winter, we generally suspend our daily road reports on our program until next spring. However, if we have any special road or travel advisories to pass along to you, we will certainly do that during this program as well as on Litter Media Radio. But starting a brand new month, we will suspend those. There's a couple, I think, projects that are stretching out through the winter months, but we've been telling you about those for 2 months.
Right.
If you want to find those, simply go to our website at littermedia.com under Road Reports. When we come back, we'll talk about sports, all coming up. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor for more than 4 decades. Not only residential, but also if you're looking for a contractor to do something with a new business, a new building construction project, give Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing a call.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
I'm a busy woman, and I'm not ready to slow down.
Tiffany's hip pain was interfering with her career and active lifestyle until she came to the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute.
Dr. Meshbach told me about same-day surgery. I said, I want it now, and I wanted it yesterday.
After a successful procedure, Tiffany was home the very same day and on her way back to enjoying the community she calls home. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
Well, high school football playoff action gets underway all over the state of Ohio tonight, and our Litter Media Radio broadcast game will take us to the beautiful hills of Paint Valley. This is pretty time out there.
I really like the view from their stadium. It just looks nice with the mountains all around, and it feels like you're in a valley.
So when you're shooting your video tonight before sundown, maybe you could get some of that footage.
Yeah, get some B-roll.
Because the leaves are all changing color. The Bearcats tonight open up the playoffs as they take on Cincinnati Purcell Marion. The Bearcats 7-3. Purcell Marion, the Cavaliers, they're known as, they are 5-5, but folks, they have a heck of a schedule that they play. So expect a very good ball team coming in to play the Bearcats. Our airtime on Litter Media Radio with yours truly and BJ Daly. At 6:50 tonight, Aaron and Dan Ramey will also be out there getting a lot of video.
Yes.
Staying with high school football, the Frontier Athletic Conference named their All-FAC team yesterday, and this fella in the back, Nolan Johnson of the Jackson Ironmen, is this year's Player of the Year. You might remember when we saw them against Miami Trace, he fumbled earlier in the game, but in the second half, trailing by 5, when Jackson was driving down the field, he ran every single play and scored the touchdown, and that was the turning point. He ended up being our player of the game that
Seems
night.
like the second half of that game, they were just giving him the ball every single down. It was the same play every time.
Yeah.
And Miami Trace couldn't stop it.
Couldn't stop it. It was like, we're going to run this down your throat. But you can find the entire list of the all-league team that includes every school in the FAC, as you see it right there if you're watching our program on our website at littermedia.com. High school tournament volleyball action last night. Adena is the last of the SVC teams standing. They beat their conference rival Zane Trace in straight sets, but the story of the night probably was in the third set. Zane Trace had a 24-18 lead. Adena fought off seven set points to win that one, 27-25 for the match. And here is how it ended. Do you recognize that young lady, number 11, with the kill to win it?
That's my cousin. That's Caroline.
Caroline Glandon. That was an overpass, and she put it down to end it. Now, I don't know if you noticed this. I was watching this on instant replay. We have it on our Twitter site. And I had to magnify the picture and slow it down so I could see this. And what I was looking for was whether Addison Platt of Zane Trace tipped the ball into her hands. Now, it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the match at all. It just would change it from a block to a kill. We decided that it was a kill, not a block, because Addison Platt at the time was playing in the back row.
Oh.
So if she contacted the ball above the net, the referee would have called or should have called illegal back row attack. So because he didn't, it goes down as a block for Caroline, or a kill for Caroline, not a block. Again, the end of the match results the same. It's just a statistical change. Elsewhere last night, a number of teams in our coverage area, Wheelersburg, of course, swept by Union Local. So Wheelersburg, who, by the way, is ranked number 3 in the state. Adena is number 5. They meet at 2 o'clock at Logan High School Saturday for the regional championship and a trip to the Final Four. In Division 6, Marion Pleasant ended Nelsonville York's season with a sweep. South Webster swept by Garaway to end their season. In Division 3, the Bloom Carroll Bulldogs, they are outstanding, folks. They beat Tiffin Columbian in straight sets last night. Watterson over Marietta, 3-1. We even went to the OHSA website, still can't find what the score was, but we do know that Watterson beat Marietta 3-1. And in Division 4, this was somewhat of a surprise. Meadowbrook knocked off by Warren last night in 5 sets. Meadowbrook had won the first 2, and then Warren came back and won the next 3. Again, all of those regional finals for volleyball, as well as a number of soccer regional championships. They are Saturday and Sunday. Chillicothe Cavaliers will play Sunday at noon up at Lancaster High School. And also, don't forget the state cross-country championships tomorrow as well. We'll have all of those results later in the evening at our website, littermedia.com.
It's a big one tomorrow in the NCAA. The number 4 ranked Ohio State will play number 3 ranked Penn State at Penn State tomorrow at noon. The Ohio Bobcats are idle this week, but in the NFL, the Browns will be hosting the Chargers on Sunday in Cleveland, and the Bengals host the Raiders in Cincinnati.
Yes. And that is a look at sports. I think everything with baseball, of course, is done except the postseason awards. I think there's still a few awards that are still to come out there. But in this political season, of course, the election is next Tuesday. Assassinations have been in the news because of the 2 attempts on former President Trump, which led us to talk about that, I think, one day in history. Well, on this date in history, there was another assassination attempt that maybe some people never, ever heard of. All that's coming up next.
First, we want to tell you about Litter Quality Propane. 92 years of serving propane users in southern and central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good.
Haynes Total Healthcare Center is celebrating 50 years of serving the chiropractic, physical therapy, and nutritional needs of the community. Click on this ad anywhere you see it on littermedia.com, and it will take you right to their website to learn more. HaynesHealth.com.
I'd like to think of myself as a history buff. I love history. I've read up a lot on presidential assassinations over the years or attempts, but I have to confess that here's one that I'd never heard of, and it happened on this date in 1950. Gracilio Torresola and Oscar Collazo attempt to assassinate President Harry Truman at the Blair House in Washington, D.C. Now, for those of you that are familiar with D.C., that's right across from the White House. President Truman escaped unscathed. In the autumn of 1950, the White House was being renovated, and President Truman and his family were living in the nearby Blair House on Pennsylvania Avenue. On the afternoon of November 1st, Truman and his wife, Bess, were upstairs when they heard a commotion and gunshots. They were coming from the front steps of the Blair House. Well, indeed, the pair of would-be assassins had strolled up to the front door of Blair House and opened fire. They never made it past the entry steps. However, due to the quick action of police officers and guards, and Secret Service agent Leslie Kofelt, who was mortally wounded in the ensuing melee, but not before he managed to kill Terrasola. These two plaques, the one on the right, as you can see if you're watching this on Facebook Live, That's the Blair House, but the plaque on the left is in honor of that Secret Service agent who died while helped saving the president and his family's life at the Blair House on this date in 1950.
One fact about Harry Truman that I like, Harry S. Truman, the S doesn't stand for anything.
It was kind of like my dad's. He was not a junior. Actually, his middle name was Junior, Mark Junior Smith. He hated it.
But he wasn't a junior?
No. So when he became of age, he had his name legally changed to Mark Smith Jr., even though he was not a junior.
That's funny.
So there you go.
But your brother is a junior.
No, I think you have to have first, middle, and last name.
Oh.
And because Dad didn't, technically it was junior, but he dropped it. So, yeah, so Mark Allen or Mark Anthony would not be a junior.
So your brother's just Mark Smith II?
Or Mark, I just call him Mark. Yeah. Some people call him Doc because he has a doctorate and all that, but we just call him Mark.
He was my professor in 2 classes.
He's in town this morning. I think he's visiting with my aunt, your grandma, and which are the same person. And then I think he's coming over for some sub sandwiches. I'm grabbing lunch on the way home to take to him. So,
all righty.
So we'll take care of that. Don't forget to join us for Litter Media Radio's Game of the Week, which is playoff football tonight between the Paint Valley Bearcats and the Cavaliers of Cincinnati Purcell Marion. Airtime at 6:50. Again, all the other sports that's taking place over the weekend, we'll get all that loaded to our website at littermedia.com. In the meantime, have yourself a great weekend. Don't forget to set your clocks back 1 hour before going to bed Saturday night.
And change your smoke alarm batteries.
That would be great, too. For Aaron Glandon, this is Mike Smith saying so long from all of us at Litter Media Live.